what kind of I want to say, what kind of changes would you like to see made promoting sexuality? Like, what would you like? Is there anything out there that like isn't being done right now that you would like to see more of or see done better to try to promote sex positivity?
Yeah, I think the movement we've had in Australia now that we can do all the work everywhere now takes that stigma away behind closed doors and too much secrecy. I kind of think that's made it a bit more acceptable over in Australia in that way. I think the best thing with it is the more we talk about it, the more, especially with sexual health, because the more we talk about that type of stuff comes up, the more positive it's going to become. Yeah. And I say this to a lot of people, it's probably what's back with your question before, a lot of stigma in my job is people think that we aren't sexual health, that's not primary. I can tell you right now, hand on my heart, my sexual health is 110 times the best it's ever been in my whole life, like since this industry, because we are so adamant about promoting that. So it's actually a stigma that people think the opposite of it. And so just trying to promote that, especially with the kids and stuff as well, that it has to be something taken seriously as well. Okay. Yeah. So more conversations, more media, more, podcasts, things like that. Absolutely. I think from the high school stage up, I think it should be, in layman's terms, should start to be something that should be brought out straight away. So I know in Australia, I'm not sure if it happens as much here, we've gone backwards a bit. So we used to be able to give out protection and so forth at schools. Now you can't. Okay. So I feel like going backwards in that way is a little bit of a backwards step because I feel like it's going to happen anyway. Yeah. So, but then it's also crossing over the boundaries of, so many legalities these days. And there's a lot of there's a lot of complexities with things like that. Have you been on because are there mainstream like talk shows and stuff in Australia that would bring you on and talk to you about this kind of stuff in that kind of a forum? Yeah, so I was on one about 8 weeks ago, and that was Novus around Australia. And that was a podcast and a radio there. And so we spoke for an hour on some pretty heavy stuff. And I got a little bit of backlash for some of the stuff I said, which I expected. But I was, if you're going to ask me questions, and I will always be honest and transparent. So, I think it's good to understand that people are not always going to be understanding or accepting of what you're going to say anyway. And that's why we've all got our own, I guess, opinions and stuff. Obviously, yes, we do. And that's something that just is inherent with the human experience. Yes, yeah. So, and then how does adult work in your mind promote sex positivity? Is it just like, do you think it's a means of being able to, do something that you're trying to promote? I think if you strip back to the basics, is that if my industry, normally, the girl's going to get dressed up. She's going to make herself feel nice. She looks, and she's putting effort into how she looks, and that's making her feel good and sexually happy herself before she's interacting with someone. And I think the same roles reverse. And generally speaking, someone who is, for a companion dinner or a more intimate setting, they're going to get dressed up and feel nice too. So you've automatically set these two individuals already feeling fabulous for the night. Yeah. And I think that promotes. Then that just rolls on to then, like the sex positivity. You are there to have a good time, and you can be a bit more open with people. So therefore, you get to be a bit more yourself. And I think then that flows onto your own personal life. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that's and I mean, so would you say like that if people that get into adult work, it's a good way to kind of promote sex in a good way? I do. I actually do. I think it is because it's done properly. It's not, there's sort of, rules, so to speak, to go by, and you have to be in your own space, in a good headspace as well. And it's empowering for women as well sometimes that they may be doing it because they have to start with, or they may just end up, oh, look, I can create this life for me and my kids or so forth and themselves that they couldn't beforehand. So I think it's a positive step if done right. Okay. Yeah. And,
Have you gone to like conventions and stuff to be able to like give talks about this and to meet people and
I think we have things like called Sexpo and things like I think got similar ones. You had one, I think.
Yeah, we have Exotica. AVN, XBiz.
Yeah, so we have all them. We have like the awards as well, like for the sex industry as well. So they're a great place that people go to for dinners, and they give out awards, and people can talk about the industry, I guess, so to speak, in a positive way. They get TV personalities to come in and host those events. So it's kind of mainstream enough and gets a bit of traction. But the expos and stuff are probably the best things that are, I guess, people can feel comfortable to come and talk to you and so forth.
Okay.
Yeah.
And because you're going to now, since you're getting that your certification for sex therapy, is that something that you're going to like start offering as an official like service?
Yes. So especially with couples and who I see, because I find, like I said before, that couples don't talk enough about it, and I would just love to be able to. From someone who's been in the industry, I feel like in a way it goes hand in hand. I can walk the talk, so to speak, because I've seen firsthand both men and women when they're separate, like what they're missing in relationships. So I feel like it's something that I'm good at listening and being able to understand, and I can now, be able to give a bit of advice or help people through that on their own. Yeah.
So in your experience so far with couples, what tends to be, I mean, are there certain common issues with couples that you notice?
Yes. So it generally is either people got children, young children, it's people are busy, and the woman, maybe she's lost a bit of her sex drive, which happens like a lot, or, every people are working, there's not enough time in the day, so to speak. But where I try and say there is, I try and promote that it doesn't need to necessarily be sex. It can just be something small and intimate that is going to give you a bit of boost, a bit of dopamine for the day, that then creates a bit of connection that then, that flow-on effect happens.
Yeah.
But the longer you leave it, the longer you leave it, I say. So sometimes better jump back on the horse.
Yeah. Well, and so do you think that because and what kind of therapies do you see that, you would do certain therapies that are more, say, talking focused, or then other therapies that are more like, activity and action focused?
Yes, I think it's also on depending who you're with, I guess, so to speak, because everyone reacts differently. Some people work really well with just talking. Some people prefer more of a casual scene. And then I think also some people actually need you to help them, like, because they're too nervous or scared, like pretty much help them show what to do. So in a way, I think there's different ways to approach it all as well. So I have a lot of couples who I see, and sometimes I know I'm just there to give them a bit of confidence. Like, they probably don't need me there, but I think it's just a bit of confidence for them to feel freely together, but they're probably not having.
So have you had people that, they come to see you, they and then afterwards, like, do you get any sort of updates like, hey, we're doing a lot better now since we saw you, and like things are so much more,
Absolutely. So when I was on the news a little while ago, I got this amazing guy who commented actually on the thing. And he said, thank you so much. That was just his way. He was having some issues at performance. And he said, since he'd been seeing me for 6 months, him and his wife, the performance issues had now gone. And he said, thank you so much. You've made that confidence, because he lost his confidence with the person he loved. He was worried about getting rejected, and got that confidence back up with me, and now they're back. Things are great. So that to me makes me feel yay.
yeah. Well, and because I don't know if they would stay in contact with you, or if it's you
get things like that. Sometimes you can know when people are just going to drop off, and that's it then and there. You've kind of been there for the time they needed you for, so to speak.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's great.